All right, let's go through Lesson 5, First App, in Intro to App Development with Swift book. We can get through this whole thing really quickly, actually. So, in this one, you're going to be creating your own app for the first time. It won't do much, but it'll be an app. So, first thing they'll want you to do is launch Xcode here. Once you launch Xcode, these three items here are buttons. They don't look like buttons, but they are. And instead of getting started with the playground, let's go to create a new Xcode project. Click on that and choose single view app. Next, type in a name. We'll call this first photo, and I'll put my last name here too, so that we know who created it. Okay, so this is just for me, for my purposes. So this is your product name. This is what you're going to be calling the app. This is your team, your organization. It will want something in here before continuing. Typically, it's your website in reverse. So mesacommunitycollege.edu in reverse. So in reverse is edu.mesacc. And the language is Swift. You can leave these unchecked, that's fine, and hit next. It's going to ask you where to put it. I'll throw that in my documents directory, sure. Or maybe I'll put it on the desktop for now. Hit create. You can leave the create Git repository unchecked if you want, or if it's selected, that's fine too. Okay, so here's Xcode, the actual software, Xcode. The book is going to want you to look at this a little bit. So these are all the files that go together to make your app. This page in the center here is where you kind of edit things and look at more settings. And so if you select your files over here, this Swift file, this is the code that's inside of this Swift file. And this is the code that's inside of this Swift file. Your storyboard is kind of like an overview, like a graphical representation of your app, and you can add things and by dragging and dropping them into the storyboard. Let's take a look at the storyboard here. Oh, there it is. Nothing in it. And as a matter of fact, I think this app will have you put something in it, so let's do that now, just for fun. So I'm going to move my little display there. The new Xcode put the object selector up here now. So you might have, it used to be like down here in the bottom, I think now it's here in the top. You click this little button with the circle and the square, and it pulls up this, I don't know, panel where you can drag and drop things. What we want to put in there is an image view. So image view. So type in image in the search here, and then just click and drag and drop image view into your app there. So there it is. You can resize it, move it around. I think I'll put mine like this, maybe in the middle. Actually, I'll put it in the top here. So drag it to wherever you want. And up here, if you click on this little triangle thing with the down triangle with the line through it, Attributes Inspector, you'd be able to select an image here if you had any images in your files over here. So that's what we'll do next, is we'll take an image and we'll put it in there. So I'm going to search for a PNG file. Let's just put, I don't know, Star Trek. I like Star Trek, PNG. So Apple likes PNG files. Let's take this one here. Thank you, Internet. Save image. Doesn't have to be big. So I'm putting this on the desktop. I noticed it was saving to the desktop, and we'll go back. If this was a real app, then you would of course want to make sure that you have copyrights to use stuff like that. I probably can't even say Star Trek without getting sued, so don't sue me, but this is just for teaching. And so somewhere in here, yep, there's the Star Trek PNG file, and I'm going to, you can drag it in two places. First, you could drag it into the assets library, which is probably what Apple wants you to do. You go like that, or you can drag it straight into your directory here. Either is fine, but the assets helps kind of keep things organized, and it gives you multiple versions for like higher resolution. If you want it to look better on devices with a Retina. Anyhow, going back here, click on the view or the image view, and then see now we've got a selection here, Star Trek. You also want to note that you can scale it, so if you want to stretch things out or aspect fit, or So you just kind of keep changing these until it looks the way you expected it to look. For me, I'm going to choose aspect fit, so that keeps the aspect ratio and fits it inside the box. What else does the book want us to do? I think it wants you to explore this mainly, so let's see here. Boop. Yeah, we created a new Xcode thing. We made a single view app. We got past that page. We didn't show you the simulator. Okay. So this little play button up here starts the simulator, and this is the device it's going to simulate on. So right now it's trying to simulate it on my phone, but my personal phone. But let's simulate it on an iPhone 8 just for fun, and hit play. The first time you launch this, it might take a while for you to launch your simulator, but just be patient. Second time, third time, after it's created those files, it doesn't take quite as long. Okay. You'll notice a new icon down here. That's the simulator. Here's Xcode, but here's the Xcode simulator. And if you don't see it pop to the front, if you're getting impatient, you can click on it, but then you'll just see it's still loading, or still launching the phone. And it has to simulate an entire iPhone on your computer, so it kind of makes sense that it might take a while. Aha, there we go. There's the launch screen. So at first you might see white. This is what's called the launch screen. And eventually, we should get past the launch screen. There we go. And there's my icon. And if you hold on Command and hit the arrow key, it'll rotate it. You'll see it's not actually acting the way I want it to do. The logo is kind of disappearing into nowhere. We could fix that later, but for now, we'll just say, oh, you might have to enable developer mode. You have to explore your project. Yep, we kind of looked at some of this stuff. Yeah, this is something to pay attention to is these bars up here. These are for hiding and showing the sidebars. You can click on those to show them or hide them. This down here is your console. If you put print statements and whatnot in, so if you're trying to log your app and see some behind the scenes stuff, then this is the code that'll show up here. Here, I'll show you really quick. If you go to your view controller and you go to view did load, somewhere inside of this view did load function, you can type print view loaded. Yay! And now when you build and run, in the bottom here it should, once the view loads, it'll say view loaded. Yay. And your colors might be different than mine. If you want to change those colors, they're in the properties for the for Xcode. So see, view loaded, yay! So this is the print console down here. What else we got? These buttons, this is the regular big editor. This is like a this is the assistant editor. So you might need this if you've got like a storyboard over here and code over here and you want to drag and drop things from your code or from your storyboard to code. This is like a comparison kind of thing. So the version editor, so if you have like earlier versions of your software and if you've been persisting them, if you've been saving them properly, it'll kind of compare your new code versus your old code. Pretty cool stuff. And let's see what else we got in the book. What else does the book want us to do? Yep, it says to go through those buttons there. Yeah, each of those buttons in the utility area do different things. We added our image already. In summary, the end.